Good morning everyone, and I hope everybody had a lovely Christmas. Today I decided to get back a semblance of normality. Most of the leftovers are used up or frozen for future use, and so today, having had a little tidy up of my craft room because it had been used as a dumping ground over the Christmas period, I've now come back to decide I'm going to scrapbook these two photos. These are some of my good friends. I've got a little social circle of friends who we nickname the Cupcakes, and this is about our journey when we start going out again, or when we did start going out again, before we went into Tier 4. We started meeting up once a week to go for a walk on the Ashdown Forest, so we were socially distanced and able to meet one another outside at least. Anyway, so to get me started, I have decided I'm going to scrap lift a layout made by the Trip Down Memory Lane blog, which is just here, and this is the actual layout I'm going to scrap lift. I don't have these papers, so I'm not going to be using those. I'm actually going to be using some autumnal colours for this, because this was in November that I recorded these photographs, and I've got these photoplay papers here from a kit that I received a year or so ago and haven't used yet. So these are what I'm going to use. Because we're on the Ashdown Forest, I wanted something foresty, basically, woods and birds and things. So I'm going to use sort of that side and then the rest of that there, so that we've got a 12-inch paper. And then I've got a few stickers and things as well. I've got a couple of perspectives here from Bramble Fox as well. I haven't yet decided what ones for certain I'm going to use, but I think probably this Thankful, because I am thankful for my friends, and also being November, that's going to go in quite well with the colours as well. And I've got some of these perspectives here as well, which are the teal and the pale blue, and again that does have the teal. I probably won't use the pink one, but my friends are wrapped up nice and warm in scarves and gloves and hats, so I'm going to use those as well. So that's those. I've got from my kit a few bits and pieces here that I may or may not use. I'll see as I go along, and a couple of scraps here that I thought I would fussy cut these 3 trees out to place along the bottom in place of those 3 hearts that the designer has there. So I think I'll just get on with it now, rather than keep talking. Anyone that knows me knows I scrapbook quite quickly, and I just look at a scrap lift layout, to scrap lift rather, and off I go. So the first thing I need is a 4-inch sliver of the bird paper, as I say, Photoplay it is called, and the range is Birds of a Feather. That's appropriate. So because I want to overlap the 2 pieces of paper, I've actually cut a 5-inch strip rather than a 4-inch strip, and then I'm going to have an 8-inch piece of this paper, but then I've got an overlap at the back so that I can adhere the 2 pieces together. I have a large X-cut guillotine just out of sight, so that's what that noise is, and it's my favourite tool, so I'm afraid I can't do without it. So that's it, and I want an inch overlap. I'm going to eyeball it. I'm not going to be too exact. I'm not a great one for measuring, etc. So that to me looks about an inch, if you see there, and it's about an inch at the bottom. I might just double check on that, and I'm just going to grab some washi tape from over here, just any old washi tape, just to use that as a piece of paper to adhere the 2 together. Now I don't want to overlap it over the edges like I would normally, so I will snip these off. So take that piece off there, that piece off there. Now that is my 8-inch by 4-inch piece. I didn't quite snip that very neatly. That's all right, pulled it off, it was a loose bit. So that's my 4" by 8" piece. Now I have got a loose flap now here, so I'm going to just use a piece of washi tape, and I don't think I have put that on very straight, so actually I'm just going to eyeball it on the front side rather than the back side, which is easier to do. That's better. And I will just check that it is, it's a little bit more than 12 inches, so I'm just going to snip a little bit off the edge so that it fits nicely in my album when I put them together. Right, so now you'll see I've got the birds and I've got the pattern paper there, and that replaces my wood grain and stars and snowflakes and the plain piece here. I'm going to use now a piece of washi tape just to stick this loose flap down, so I've got to pick a piece that actually matches now, coordinates. So I have quite a large selection of washi tape, so I'm going to use just a plain piece because I've already got 2 pieces that of paper that are patterned, so I don't really want to use another pattern on there because that will just start to confuse the eye. You'll see from my pictures here, these 2 photos here, that there are sort of some tealy greens and some olivey sort of colours, and this teal jacket there picks up the teal there. The birds and the green is representing the backgrounds. So I just need to match these 2, and that won't take me very long, so bear with me. Right, so the first thing I do, I always mat my photos, I can't bear it unmatted. I think I've probably done 1 or 2 layouts in the past without matting, and I think I know which ones they are because they stand out to me. They just don't seem to be, I don't know, finished as much somehow. I've got my very useful little guillotine here, which I adore. I use it all the time, and unfortunately I got it from Hobbycraft and they don't sell them anymore, but I have managed to get a spare just in case this one ever goes wrong because I love it so much. I'd be completely lost without it. Just as I say, matting these with some, I keep a pile of paper next to my desk over here, which has just got cream and off-white and white card, and that is just some scrap paper I managed to pick up once, and I just always keep it next to my desk so that I can just grab a piece to mat the photographs on, because I nearly always mat it in those colours, either matte, off-white or cream. I don't use creams so much, but I do occasionally. Didn't quite take enough off that part there. So now I've got my photos matted, so that one and that one. And then on the original layout, there is actually another piece of ephemera tucked in behind the photographs, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that yet. I think I'm just going to leave that part, I think. Yeah, I think I'll just shuffle them a little bit closer together. That's it. And then one of my favourite things I like to do when I'm matting a photograph onto the actual layout, I don't usually use them flat, don't usually put them flat. I like to use this foam tape, which gives everything a little bit of dimension, and I'm very much one into fussy cutting and ephemera and things that I can stick around the photograph, and I like to tuck things underneath the photographs. So again, I don't measure anything, I don't even worry if it's the same direction, the same way up. I just have my bits of double-sided foam tape, which I then whip off the back. I've got a bin there just out of shot, and then that one, I think I'm going to put that one as the right-hand photograph rather than the left-hand, actually, because I want to slightly overlap them, and I might otherwise overlap my dog's nose, which I don't particularly want to do. So there you are, there's the 2 photos. I'm now just sticking them down, and that's me done for the actual basis of my layout. Now it's all just about finishing it off really. In the original they've put lots of snowflakes along the bottom because it's a wintry layout, of course. I'm going to put trees all the way along the bottom, and then you've got those 3 hearts as well. I probably won't put the hearts, but I will add some additional things along the bottom. I'm just not quite sure what yet. These are quite simple to cut out, so they shouldn't take me long, so I shan't fast forward these fussy cutting bits because they're quite simple shapes. They're only little sort of ovals with a stem, a trunk. So that's the first one done already. I'm a person that likes a background. I know some people like to fussy cut and not leave a background. I actually like to have a little margin all the way around mine, but it's entirely personal taste. I'm only cutting 3, you'll be glad to know, so you haven't got to watch me cut all of these. It won't take long, as I say. There's the second one, and then the last one here, and I'm only cutting 3 because if you look, none of the rest of the trees are actually full trees. This one there is a full top, but there's not a full bottom, so I think I'll probably just ignore that and just have the 3. They say put things in 3s and 5s, so that's what I'm doing in this instance. I'm having 3. They've got 3 hearts on their layout, and I'm going to do 3 trees, not 3 hearts. That's what scrap lifting's all about, really, making it your own. As I say, on their one they have got a bit of extra autumnal, not autumnal, they've got snowflakes, wintry bits at the bottom. I've probably just left a little bit too much on that one, so I'm just going to trim a little bit off that one. I've got too much of a margin. Then, but because I've got quite a busy paper as my background and they haven't, I don't think I'm going to put the other paper. I mean, if, for example, if I put that in there, you can see I think it's a bit clashy. It's just a bit too much for me. It's too much for my eye. So I'm going to leave that off. I had got a piece like that out ready, but I think I'm not going to bother. So this will be my basis of my layout. And then what I want to do, because these are raised up, these ones, now that would cover my dog if I put that there, so I'm going to put them to the right instead. If I put one either side of the big tree, I will end up covering up my dog, which I don't particularly want to do. So I think I'm going to do that. Now, because I want them the same height as the photographs, I'm just going to snip a bit on the back and stick it down, making sure I don't cover my dog, and making sure that the foam pad isn't on top of this, otherwise you start getting too thick foam pads. Another little bit of foam pad for the green tree, and then pop that one on as well, again making sure that the foam pad doesn't go up on top of the photographs. And then another one for the pink tree. And although this doesn't specifically have pink, if you look there, that's quite a similar colour to some of the little dashes of colour that there is on that background sheet. So sorry about my creaky chair. I have an office chair that I sit on, and for some reason it's developed a creak. Anyway, so that's my 3 trees, which, as you can see, is the 3 hearts represented. Now, I've got lots of stickers and things. This is where I decide whether or not I am going to put something behind. These girls really are my happy, and especially during lockdown, you know, we have been able to walk together occasionally, not as often as we would have liked. We certainly haven't been able to see each other very often. So I'm going to put this sticker in, find your happy, because these girls actually are my happy. So I'm going to tuck that in there underneath the photographs there. I don't really want that gap there, so I'm going to put that there. There was a little gap under there, which I think I've now lost. So I've got Find Your Happy. I do want to put this Thankful, I've decided now, because I've got these colours, this sort of orangey salmony colour. So I'm going to use the Thankful by Bramble Fox Perspective. Oh, pulled it too hard and I've snapped it. I never do that. Why did I do that now, just when I'm being watched? Never mind. Fortunately, these are very forgiving, these. I'm going to put Thankful, and I'm going to put it here, sort of against this dark background. Now, the fact I've broken it is irritating, but it doesn't really matter because I shall glue it and I shall stick them back together as I'm glued. Now, what I use to stick these, and I know it's a question that Bramble Fox gets often asked because I follow them on their Facebook page. What I use for this is Pinflair acrylic glue, which is in a tube like this, Pinflair. It's just a clear acrylic glue. I keep it in a syringe, and then every time I use it, on the first time I use it on a day, you have to pull out that last little stopper, but then it starts freely moving again. So I'm going to put a wee bit of this on the back. It's very strong, sturdy stuff, and it's absolutely perfect for these perspectives. So here's my thank, and now I've got to fix the full bit, the thankful bit, and as I say, it's completely clear. So you won't, and I just put 3 little dobs on the back, and I need to make sure, put that down, that I slide it underneath. And there you go. You wouldn't even know that that was broken. It says Thankful, and when that dries, that will be completely clear. You won't see anything. Then, as I say, I'm not sure whether I'm going to tuck something in there or not. Let's see if I've got anything that might work. There are actually 4 of us, so maybe that would work. In fact, it does work, and that's what I'm going to use, because although there's 6 people here, there's actually only this lady's twice, this lady's twice, then there's me, and then there's my friend Mel. So that's that. I'm also going to use this, as I say, this perspective here with the scarf and the earmuffs and the jumper. I'll see whether I use all 3 or whether I just use 1 or 2. Take those out. I think the jumper is perhaps not quite right. It's not quite the right colour. It's a bit pale, and because it's see-through, you would see the stripes underneath a little bit, I think. So I think I'm going to leave that one. But the curly the curly scarf would work well, as would the earmuffs. Now I've just got to decide where I'm going to put them. I think the earmuffs and the scarf actually work quite well down here. So now with these, they have an adhesive backing. The Thankful one didn't have it, but on the whole, these do have a sticky backing, which you just peel off. This one hasn't got one on the front because it's engraved, so that you get the look of the scarf rather, the knitting on the scarf. So I'm going to put that one on the corner like so, and then again peel off these sticky backings for my earmuffs. Oh, it's stuck to my finger now. Get off. That's it. And then one more. Pull that piece off, and then a bit more of a dab of this acrylic glue. Just 3 little dobs. That's all it needs because it is strong glue. So that's the earmuffs. There's some stickers on this sticker sheet here that I quite like the look of as well. It says count your blessings. Well, I do count my blessings because I do have a good social network of friends, and so I'm going to just tuck that in there. It's a sticker, so I don't need to glue it at all. What else have we got here? I don't think cactuses in November in England is really very appropriate. So I've got another one here saying I love this, which again I do. I enjoy my trips out with these girlies so much. It keeps me sane. As much as I adore my husband, I do like to escape from time to time and have some different company, and during lockdown there's not many opportunities for that right now. We haven't been able to go recently because of we are now in tier 4 in the UK, which means you can't socialise with any more than one person, so we've not been able to do it since we moved into tier 4. But this was back in November and we were legally allowed to do that then without getting into trouble. Now I'm just putting a couple of coordinating hearts off the sticker sheet in here, just on this background paper, just purely and simply because it matches and it goes together, so why not. In amongst this little pile of embellishments that came with the kit, which came from Crop in the Country actually. I think the designer was the lady who used to run Pretty My Page, but is having a break at the moment. And I've stupidly forgotten her name, and I can't think why I would have forgotten her name. She's a lovely person. Anyway, let's just see, is there anything in here I might want to use? Oh, there's some nice autumnal leaves here, so I might use a couple of those, because again they're the right colours. The purple doesn't really go. I've got nothing to go with that really. These are good. Yeah, I might use that there. Purple's no good. This is a little word that says grateful, but as I've already got thankful, I don't really need grateful as well. Snuggle, not really appropriate because we're actually quite distant at the moment. I've got an autumn sign there. I might put that one in there. Toadstools, I don't need a big clump of flowers, so I think I'm going to put my autumn one here. Again, I will use my pin flare just to give this a little bit of height, just to raise it off the, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it actually gives it a little bit of dimension so it's not directly flat on the paper. Here also I've got this flower. Now again, because I want it no higher than the foam pads, I'm going to put a small piece of the actual foam tape behind it and raise this one off. Sometimes I curl flowers up a little bit. In this case I will. I just simply run my fingernail over it to give it a little bit more curl and more dimension. Take the back off the foam pad, pop that in that corner so that again it doesn't overlap give us a double dimension, which I don't want. And I think that's more or less it. Yeah, I'll just tuck that under there. I'm going to put that one quite flat, so I'll just use a flat bit there, but I could have used a blob to make it raised, but I decided to keep it flat. And I think that's more or less it. So nice and quick, quite simple. And I hope you can see that it all goes together. I have three collections of, three little clusters rather than collections. I've got a cluster across the bottom, a little cluster up here, and this little cluster here. I think what would be quite nice actually is to have a couple of enamel dots. So I have these Echo Park Summertime, which you wouldn't necessarily think would go with an autumnal kit, but they go perfectly with this one, and it just so happened they were on my desk. I hadn't got them out specifically. So yeah, I'm going to put a couple of little enamel dots in. I've got some nice rusty colour ones and some little yellow ones that goes with the yellow there, and I've got some teal and sort of turquoisey colours as well. So, and funnily enough, these ones here, they're almost identical colour to the perspective that I've just added. So that's rather good news. And in fact, I might put one of these on the centre of my flower, which I'm going to do, just in the centre of that flower there, just to give it another little bit of interest. And I think one more over here, but I don't know if the yellow will, oh no, that's okay, it does stand out okay. Not sure whether that's quite right. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I need another little one over here. I'll put a little turquoise one there. I haven't put any down the bottom because I've already got quite a big cluster, and I've got these perspectives. So I've got 1 cluster, 2 cluster, 3 cluster, so that your eye travels around the page. The colours are all picked up in the photographs, and I think that's it. That's my final finished layout. Thanks for watching. Pop back soon. Bye.